This politician again. I
just
said, you really, if you're not thinking about running for
I don't know what's more embarrassing than a governor being caught exposing his own policies while he's on a Zoom talking to others and saying, you guys will not believe what happened when I was at CVS.
Target. Is that Target?
Target. Denny's closes amid soaring crime. Crime statistics show 37% increase in robbery. I wonder why. 24% increase in burglary. I wonder why. 45% rise in motor vehicle theft. And a 21% increase in violent crimes over the past year. Subway, Starbucks, and In-N-Out have closed and experienced surge in criminal activity. And at the same time, you ready? Here's how politics works. Ayanna Pressley claims Walgreens is racist for closing stores.
What is good, YouTube family? It's your boy Shy. We back again with the Black Anomaly Rising channel. So we got to talk about Bill Maher. This guy, he is so freaking smug. I've literally never seen someone be, or at least be so sure of themselves. I was about to say smart, but someone who, I guess it's like he's smart in some ways, but in other ways, he is completely irrational. This is one of those reasons why you can't just stand behind people no matter what. Like, sometimes you got to respect them in certain areas. In other areas, you just got to feel like, I mean, well, maybe they need to stay in their lane a little bit, right? Because Bill Maher, in this freaking podcast that he did in Club Random, where he was speaking with Patrick Bet-David, he basically was just completely delusional in Trump deranged. So he basically demonstrates that he supports Democrats pretty much no matter what. He's trying to play himself off to be like this objective person in character. However, he's constantly defending Joe Biden, constantly defending Gavin Newsom, and both have a terrible track record. It doesn't make any sense. And then when confronted about both of those things, he just kind of doesn't really even have an answer for that. And it has the audacity to say Patrick is deflecting and is a good politician. But no, Bill Maher doesn't even want to answer the questions. At one point, he even says he doesn't even know why he supports Gavin Newsom. At first, he says, well, he's an electable candidate. And when Patrick is like, well, what data do you have that demonstrates that Gavin Newsom did good as a governor of California? Bill was kind of just like, yeah, let's talk about something else. Right? So without further ado, let's get into it.
And he does not betray that at all, as far as like the way he speaks, the way he engages, the way, people like, this is the problem we're having right now with Trump and Biden. Trump, of course, is even more demented and full of dementia. But they're around the same. But Biden wears it horribly. He shuffles and he looks fucking old.
Look, I'm gonna stop right there for a sec. This guy literally just said that Trump has more dementia issues than Biden. Y'all let that sink in for a second. He says, well, it looks worse on Biden, but Trump's issues are worse. What sense does that make if you can literally see it with Biden and you can't see it with Trump? Okay, I'm going to keep going. We're going to come back to this.
And Trump is more dementia than Biden?
Yes.
You didn't just say that. You said
delusional.
Oh, you like Trump more than
delusional.
Biden?
No,
I mean, you can.
In the area of dementia, there's a lot of things you could say. Did you really?
Did you see what Trump said this weekend?
Yeah, the whole thing about Nancy Pelosi and Nikki Haley.
Right.
And then he, somehow, some way, everybody from the media comes down and says, no, that wasn't Nikki Haley who shut down and controlled security. It was Nancy, Pelosi.
So, okay. I want y'all to take a breath for a second. Let's compare the two. Okay, you got two people with N's in their name. I know they don't really look that much alike, but when you actually think about it, they don't look that different. But they don't look that much alike, right? But both letters of their name start with an N. Nancy, Nikki, whatever, right? Politicians talk all day. You might make a mistake. Joe Biden, did y'all not see the LL Cool J clip?
Two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J.
And let's not get started on all them times he falls over, these ridiculous things. He's like mumbling just ridiculous mumble flubs that he has.
Did you see what he recently said about that he wants to see the economy crash? We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the
No.
Hey now!
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
These are innumerable at this point. It's like an expectation. It's not something where it like happens every now and again. At this point, you've gone to expect it from Joe Biden. It's become part of who he is. Part of his brand is for him to make some sort of gaffe or screw up in a speech, forget what he was about to say, to trip and fall over. It's like all of these different things, but the media and Trump deranged Bill Maher has to razor focus, like just laser beam freaking goggle eyes with a magnifying glass into Trump just to find, well, hey, remember that one mistake he made where he confused Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi? Remember that? Yeah, demented. Like, what the hell are y'all talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Like, to compare to those two things, something that's so easily correctable. Oh yeah, obviously I meant Nancy Pelosi. I just made a mistake and said Nikki. Like, who cares? Like, you never hear Donald Trump, what was I gonna say again? Where am I supposed to lead a stage?
Mr. President, thank you.
You never see none of this stuff happening. I can't believe that Bill Maher had the audacity to make this point. I'm not going to let this go, Bill. Okay? I'm not letting it go.
But to say dementia between the two, I mean, like, look, Biden, you listen to 100 speeches, you can't even, he can't even go through his speeches.
This whole subject, I feel like, is kind of the red herring of the election. It never engages me that much because, like, I know who Biden is and I know who Trump is. We've both seen them a lot, and yeah, they're both not at their life's peak for them, and it's sort of baked in. And I don't think, does it really make me think that it's affecting how Biden makes decisions and runs the country? No, it's not. He doesn't look good running for president. He doesn't look good, publicly as president. That's not the important part of being president. The important part of being president is the decisions you make in small rooms where there aren't people around to look at you stutter, and where you're not as nervous, and when you don't have to make a speech, you can just listen.
This is freaking ridiculous already. You're telling me that perception, literally, the president of the United States is essentially almost a glorified figurehead. You pretty much got like power over the military. That's why they call it commander in chief, right? And, power over like the sovereignty of the nation and like the borders and stuff like that. And like basically a lot of like foreign affairs and stuff is what the president is primarily responsible for. So less involved directly with the people who are actually within the country and more involved with people who aren't in the country. And that's one of the reasons probably why they got all of these wars and stuff now, is because Joe Biden is perceived to be weak. So because of that perception of him toppling over all the time and American, like, it's like, what the hell is this dude saying? Nobody knows.
Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
No.
The way he even got elected was suspicious to begin with, so they already losing respect because of that. Combine that with all of the consistent gaffes, all of the toppling over, all of the woke leftists who are still supporting him basically no matter what his results are, and you have a recipe for disaster. That's why things are going up the way that they are. And Bill Maher here is basically saying, well, when you're in a room where you don't have to speak in front of people, like, it's part of the job to speak in front of people. What are you talking about? It's part of your job. How do you go? Well, it's not fair to criticize him for when he's talking in front of people, even though he's the president of the United States. What do you mean? Are you nuts? The president speaking in front of people and being criticized if he can't speak well? How dare you? That's basically what Bill Maher is saying. This dude is a freaking wacko.
Be the president of peace. Really? Yeah, okay, cool. Let's see. He's going to be the one that's going to bring peace. Shambles with Afghanistan. Then you got Ukraine and Russia. Then you got Israel and Hamas.
You know, okay, I get it. You're on the red team. I don't have a team like
It's not
that.
about the red team.
It really is, because it's like, it's so easy to like pick apart Afghanistan. I feel like that's such a bullshit one. Yeah, did they stick the landing? No, they didn't. They did not stick the landing on Afghanistan.
How you not gonna give credit? This dude basically says if you try to give credit for if somebody is, I guess, a Republican and there's no wars, then all of a sudden you're on the red team. It's like, no, you're just calling it how it is. Like, this is factually what happened. There was no wars under Trump. Why would you not call that out?
I'm not 1,000,000% sure that it would have gone differently, however they did it, whoever did it. But no, probably somebody could have done it in a more efficient way. What I know is he was the one who had the guts to do it, which needed to be done. Nobody else would rip off the Band-Aid. But it just in general, these sort of like...
Trump was going to do it in May, and he was going to do it in a different way. You know, so let me ask a question a different way with you.
Okay, but you know, this rosy picture of Trump that you paint, I like, again, I don't know why it has to be so red team, blue team. I'll give you that the worst things that could have happened under Trump did not. You're right.
Facts.
He did not nuke a hurricane as he once proposed or thought about. That alone should be scary enough that he considered it. There are good people around him. I'm glad there's good people around.
I think that, I don't know, what is it with people, like, first off, with the whole Afghanistan situation, I love how Democrats love to try to sweep this situation under the rug when literally American citizens died, or like American military members died with the Afghanistan withdrawal. Okay, that should have never happened to begin with. And if it would have happened under Trump, it would have been a nightmare. It would have been like Trump's career would be over. It don't matter how much people like him. It'd be a wrap for Trump. He'd just be totally finished up the freaking creek without a paddle. He would literally have no chance. And the fact that people are trying to just cap consistently for Joe Biden is making me sick, man. Like, I cannot freaking stand idiots like this. Bill Maher demonstrates a level of irrationality when it comes to Democrats and Trump derangement that is beyond all human comprehension. It certainly is beyond my comprehension level. Maybe y'all understand it as viewers. Like, I never was really like Trump deranged. I wasn't really a Trump fan originally, but I was never like this. And then secondly, he's talking about nuking a hurricane. Okay, I really don't even remember what Trump said as it relates to this comment, but I can tell you from experience with the types of things that Trump says is that liberals love to take something that Trump says and then they'll word for word say exactly what he said out of context, and then try to make like Trump look stupid. Like, for example, with that bleach comment where Trump was obviously joking and they're like, he told people to drink bleach. It's his fault that people are doing stupid stuff. And I'm like, look, the guy is a human being. He makes jokes. Like, Trump has literally always been a jokester for a very long time. For as long as people have known him primarily, especially as he's been older, he literally used to be on TV, reality TV. So he makes jokes. Okay, so if he says something about nuke a hurricane, I don't think he means actually drop a freaking nuclear bomb on a hurricane. Like, what the heck? Come on. Okay. It's like, I feel like, what is with people in the Trump derangement? Like, how did it get to this point? Is the liberal media that powerful? Are they that strong?
Obama gets to.
I get it. You don't like Biden. Look, I wish it was a different.
Do you like Newsom? How do you feel about Newsom?
Had him on my show Friday.
I saw that.
And I First of all, I love him. You just like a guy or you don't. I've known him for a long time. He's done my show for a long time. Do I love everything he does as the governor of California? No, I don't. I wouldn't say I'm undertaxed. Yeah, I have issues with this state. He's a guy. One reason I want him to run for president, well, is because he's obviously a winner. This guy could do it. It's insane that we have the guy, but we can't run him because we have to tiptoe around Biden and
define a winner.
So I guess this is one of the things that threw me off because I've already this isn't like the first time seeing this, but it threw me off when I was watching this because I'm like, so you just want him to run because you think he can win? But what has he actually done as a politician that makes you feel like he doesn't even realize how partisan he is? Like, I'm not, it's a big, long podcast, so I can't put the entire thing in here, but he goes off for a long time about how he is a libertarian and how he votes for whoever he thinks is the best candidate. And, he doesn't always necessarily think that he's going to vote Democrat, but he just ends up voting Democrat every time. And in this scenario, he literally just said, well, Newsom's a winner, so why would I not vote for him? I'm like, well, so is Trump. Like, if you want to use that logic. Except Trump actually had good results. Newsom's results are disastrous. So he wants to vote for a disastrous person that he thinks can win and create more disaster? Make it make sense. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Maher. This is what a woke, Trump deranged leftist looks like.
Well, he would win the election.
Oh, so
he would win the election.
He's a talented debater, speaker, communicator, deflector.
And politician. And he's a smart guy. He's a smart, real guy with a pair of balls. Do I love everything? No, you never do with a politician. But first of all, I think if he ran for president, it'd be great because it would force him to move to the center. Now you're running not just in California. I mean, this is California. It's weirdo.
Are you a results-driven guy?
No, I like to think, watch things fall apart.
I mean,
of course
you wouldn't build a show that you build and win at the levels you won, for decades if you weren't results-driven, right? I mean, you're Bill Maher.
What do you mean? Well, what's the point about results?
That's exactly where I'm going with you. So results-driven guy.
Right.
What areas has Newsom won in? You said he's a winner.
Winner of the election. He could win the election.
But based on what, though? Do you want results? Like, what has he done to California to say he's a winner?
Oh God, I don't know. It's too.
Bill, you're a smart
You know what?
guy.
He made it rain. Okay, dude. It wasn't raining.
This dude is a wacko. Okay, a whack job. Okay, like his brain has been melted by the media, and he doesn't even realize it. Like, this is a guy. He thinks he's old. He thinks he's smart. He literally is smug. There's no conversation that you can ever see him in on the internet where he thinks that the person that he's talking to is smarter than he is. He thinks that he's always the most intelligent person. He never listens. He's always, definitely in this conversation, he's always over talking Pat David here. So this guy is going off talking about Gavin Newsom and how he's going to be more toward the middle, but that doesn't make any sense. Why would you just assume that he's going to be toward the middle just because he's running for president? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, you're basically just assuming for no reason that, well, his results were a disaster in California, but it's California's fault, whereas his results are going to be better as the U.S. president. That doesn't make any sense. He literally supports Joe Biden's agenda right now. They have basically the same agenda. In my opinion, Joe Biden and his cabinet are taking notes from Gavin Newsom, which is one of the reasons why this country is effed up to begin with. I don't think it's the other way around. I don't think Gavin Newsom was ever taking notes from Joe Biden and his cabinet. Gavin Newsom seemed like he was effing up California all on his own. Okay, so I don't know what the hell Bill Maher is talking about here. And honestly, I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
There's a water shortage out here before Gavin got in office and made it rain.
He's the GOAT, right?
But
he's the greatest.
He's not the GOAT, but he could be the 47th president.
I don't disagree. I fully agree with you. I think if they.
But you think
that there's a.
But again, what has Biden done? What's the worst? Okay, Afghanistan.
Tell me which story you want to.
No.
Because for me,
see, look at this politician again. I just said, You really, if you're not thinking about running for office, you should.
I'm not at all.
Well, you should.
I wasn't born here. I
Because
have no
this
desire.
is your natural skill.
You think so?
Deflecting. It
I think
is.
Newsom is. I think that's Newsom's ability. I think Newsom is phenomenal. I think Newsom
just
may
did
be
it again.
a fantastic politician.
Okay.
He could fully pull it off.
That's what.
Did you see the story
that's
that
how I
came out
said-
today about
that's what
Michelle
I said. Newsom
as a
can win.
as a politician for sure?
Yes.
But then I asked results, and winner, and you got upset. You said,
I don't know.
That to me, there's a part of it that's results
You know,
driven.
I haven't studied his bio lately. I'm sure there are some things that we did here in California that benefited a lot of people. It's a local.
ask this
I don't
question
watch
from-
the local news.
I
you know-
can listen to you for hours. I
This
can
dude, bro, are y'all hearing what he's just said? So, okay, Pat is pressing him again on Gavin Newsom specifically. Okay, not Joe Biden, not Democrats, but Gavin Newsom, and he's saying, "Well, I mean, I haven't really looked. I mean, I don't even really watch the news." Why the hell do you support Newsom then? What is making you support Newsom if you don't even know what he's done? As a matter of fact, he said earlier that he knows that he hasn't done, like, his record is not that good in California overall. Like, for example, he mentioned the taxes. Like, taxes are terrible. There's a bunch of permits required to do pretty much anything, right? Like, there's a lot of issues out in California. Business leaving California, people leaving California in droves, right? Like, it's like one of the worst places to be in terms of business and hell, just starting any type of family or anything like that. It's like one of the worst places in the country to be. And Bill Maher's like, yeah, well, I think he could win. It's like, well, why do you want him to win? Even he doesn't know.
That was about it. Reagan, same thing. If it didn't fit on a page, Trump said that. One page. Democrats treat government generally much more respectfully, like it's an actual job, which it is, a really detailed one. And when they know shit and get into the minutiae, things generally come out better.
If it's
And I
detailed,
think
right.
Gavin Newsom is in that tradition of Democrats
so
who
if-
does that.
so if you
Unlike
say-
your boy, who bases everything on whether, like, the guy likes him. He said, I was brilliant. I think I'll take the compliment and then do whatever. I mean, that's dangerous.
Yeah. So if
You gotta go?
No, I don't have to go. No, I'm enjoying this. So if I'm glad you said that. The fact that Democrats like details more. Last year, 2023. Okay, since they like details, let's talk about some details.
Oh, Jesus.
You say you Democrats
You know,
are more
I-
about details, right? So
I did,
I
but-
want to give them credit for
I
the
can tell this.
detail-driven community
I
they
can
are.
tell this is going to be dumb, but
Yeah,
okay.
So it's going to be dumb. When it's
but-
details, it's dumb. but
No,
when
it's not because
facts-
it's going to be. All right, Tom, maybe I'm misjudging. But go ahead. You tell me what your
According
thing
to
is.
Data, is top 50 states for net migration. Best state is Florida, then is Texas, then is Tennessee. Worst state, 2023,
Yeah,
California.
absolutely.
Then it's New York, then it's Illinois.
Yeah.
Why are
Right.
Americans leaving
I'll tell
blue
you why.
states and
Right.
going to red
And again,
states?
what you ask, why do Republicans and independents watch me now also? Because I'll be honest about answers like this. Because for very good reason. I know people. I know this on a personal level. Someone who worked for me and really was happy here, but just had a baby and couldn't afford to stay here. Moved to Oregon. Some of it is just that. Very, very expensive, this state. Now, part of that is because we try to do too much. Democrats are basically the ones who think government can do things, and very often it can't, shouldn't, it's asked to do too much. So you take a state like California, which is completely run by the Democrats, you're going to have that inclination go out of control. That's what I think about California. That inclination is out of control.
This is peak Trump derangement. You don't get more Trump deranged than this, where literally you can say that, well, the person's record is terrible, but I think we should have them be the president because they can win. And then this dude thinks that he's not a partisan hack. Like, this is laughable. I'm thinking maybe this guy, are you sure that it's just Joe Biden who got dementia issues, Bill? I mean, Bill Maher's getting up there. I looked up his age. He's like 67, 68. He's getting up there. So it might be time for maybe he need to go retire somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he thinks that the conversation that he had here is a logical conversation. Because there was no logic here. And Pat, well, here's what Pat did, which was masterclass. He basically just sat back. You see, look, he's on the screen still. You see the way he just sat back and his hands just like this. He's just kind of chilling, just talking like with his, you know, like suited up. Like he's kind of keeping this calm, masculine composure. And Bill Maher's just over here just like a freaking schoolgirl or something. Pat looks like a composed, strong man. Bill Maher looks like a literal adolescent teenager. That's the way he's acting. He's acting like a emotional, butthurt, smug teenager, a little know-it-all. And when confronted directly on the facts, he doesn't even know what to say. He's just like, I mean, basically, I know I'm right, okay? I know I'm right. Newsom's great. Biden's great. Just vote them into office and just don't trust Trump, okay? I know that he didn't do the stuff that we said was bad, but trust me, he's gonna do it eventually. Any day now, any day now. That's how these idiots think. They're not smart. No matter, regardless of how bad they want it and how strongly they believe it, they're not following the data. He thinks that the Democrats follow the data. When Pat asks him about the data doesn't look good for Newsom or the Democrats. And then Bill Maher doesn't care. So much for following the data. So much for following the science. These people are quacks. Vote Trump in 2024. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get them.